माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
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 यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यमुनातीरावनचारी
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 जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
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 यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन जनरञ्जन
यमुनातीरावनचारी
यमुनातीरावनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda Radhe.
Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
जय श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान की जय श्री पंच तत्व भगवान की जय शील प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. So Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
everyone.
So
Hare
we don't need any introduction to Priyarani Mataji. So everybody knows her well. And I think this is Mataji's first public Zoom class. Of course, Mataji had done the Bhajan Sandhyas. So very welcome, Mataji. And thank you for accepting this service. This year we had several Matajis taking part in this service of sharing knowledge and giving classes. It is nice to see. So Mataji, over to you. Thank you very much for accepting this service.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Prabhuji, and hope I give justice to Lord Yamraj.
You'll be fine.
Please give us all your blessings, and we can start with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So when we hear about Yamraj, we always think of, Lord of Death. Yamraj means Lord of Death. And we all get scared of uh, listening to Yamraj, or fear of being in front of Yamraj. So we'll speak some of the very good qualities of Yamraj and how he is a great Mahajan, which he is in among the 12 Mahajans. Lord Yamraj is also a great Mahajan. So when we say death, as sure as death, so among all Mahajans, if we don't know if any of the Mahajans we might have associated with, but it is sure that we will be at one point of time we'll be in front of Yamraj. So Bhishma Pitama or Shukdev Goswami or Vyasdev, we don't know if we will associate with them, but it is sure that Yamraj is the person that we will be associating at some point of time. So in the universe there are so many demigods, but there are different gradations of demigods. In devotion, all are devotees, but there are different gradations. But Yamraj is sure to be the greatest devotee of the Lord. So Yamraj means Lord of Death. So we'll speak about where he lives and what his family is. So Yamraj lives in a city called Samyamani, and then his service is to give punishment and reward to people. If people do pious activities, he gives reward. People who do bad activities, he gives punishment. So impious persons come and he punishes them and he leads them to hellish planets. There are different varieties of hellish planets described in the Bhagavatam. Some at some point it is said there are around 21 to 28 planets, different narkas, hellish planets. So pious people are rewarded to go to heavenly planets, but we have to pass through Yamraj. He will reward us where to go. And in the Puranas, it is mentioned that pious people go through a different road. So for impious people, there is a different road which is very horrible, dark, and very painful. And for pious people, there is a different road and it is very nice. So one example we can give of pious people, even like whoever it is, pious or impious, we have to go to Yamraj. So one example which is given in the Bhagavatam, it is a story of King Nriga. So he was very pious and he used to give in charity so many cows. It is said that as much as the dust particles, he used to give like that so many cows in charity. But one time what happened that he gave charity. Same cow, one brahmana came, he gave so many cows, and the one cow came back from that herd to his Goshala, and then again King Riga, he gave that cow to another brahmana. So the two brahmanas, they came to King Riga that, this is my cow, and the other brahmana said, this is my cow, so you have given me charity. So then he had to, it was an offense to the brahmanas, and that's why he had to pass through King Yamraj. So he asked Yamraj, and Yamraj said that, this happened. So Yamraj said that you can have lots and lots of pious, you can enjoy, or you can have small of, suffering. So which one do you want to have first? So King Riga said that I will do my first, whatever reaction I have to suffer, I will choose that, and then I can go to my uh, enjoyment. So then Yamraj had to give him that he become a lizard. And then we know the story from Bhagavatam that how Krishna rescued that lizard from the well, where all his Krishna's children were playing, and Krishna came to the rescue of the lizard, and then he was liberated. So that is one example of how we all have to go through Yamraj. Then we can describe about Yamraj's complexion and how he looks like. So Yamraj has a greenish complexion. His eyes are red. He wears red garments, and he has a golden crown. So here we see that Yamraj. And then when he speaks, it sounds like he's roaring. He rides on a buffalo, male buffalo, and he has his Yamadanda. Sometimes he carries axe or sword or knife, but generally he looks like this, very fearful. But for pious people, he is very beautiful. So he looks very pleasant. He is very handsome. He has 4 arms, wearing garland. So for devotees, for pious people, he looks very good. Is that the photo coming up? It's not there. Okay, we'll see the beautiful Yamraj afterwards. He has his, yes. So this is the beautiful Yamraj. He has his secretary, Chitragupta. Now we can see, yes. Okay. So Yampuri is has description of Yampuri that so it has 4 gates, 7 arches, 2 major rivers, Pushpadaka river which has a lot of flowers, and then there's a river called Vaivaswati, which river makes lot of sound. It sounds like ocean. And for impious people, path of Yamloka is very fierce. There is no food, no water, nothing, and there is scorching heat. So people are very afraid of going there. And there are a lot of sounds, lot of cries of people crying because there is so much torture going on in the Yamloka. So there is people being cut, raped, pounded, so many things. So It is, when we have, there are live examples, people have experience that when people die, they can see Yamdutas. So it is said that, before the Yamdutas even come, that there are dogs, two dogs, which come to the person, and sometimes people see those Yamdutas and dogs, and they become very scared to see, and even if they are very ill, they cry out for help, so they can see Yamraj, Yamdutas. So Yamraj is very intelligent. No one can fool Yamraj. So there was one example which Prabhupada had given a story that one person, he wanted to fool that, no one can, no Yamdutas can come to me. What I can do is I can smear my whole body with stool so that Yamdutas doesn't come. So Yamdutas are very clever. So they sent first a hog so that he can lick the body of the person, and then, he said, it's time for you to come back. There is one story of uh, it is, I think it's a bird. Yeah. So one bird, he was supposed to be uh, dying at one other place, some planet, but that time it was at one place. So Yamraj said, this bird was not supposed to die here, I don't know, but Garuda, he saw that Yamraj has come to take that bird. So the Garuda, he took that bird to the other planet. So it so happened that that bird was supposed to die at that planet. So um, it it's very clever of Yamraj that, when we think it, when he's supposed to die, where he's supposed to die is fixed. So nobody can fool Yamraj that where he's supposed to die. So the family of Yamraj is the son of sun god Surya Dev, and his sun god and wife Sandhya. And Yamraj's brother is Shraddha Dev and sister is Yamuna. So we all know Yamuna, how, she uh, is very merciful. So it is said that, when during after Diwali time we celebrate Bhau Beej or Bhai Dooj, so when once Yamraj came to Yamuna, and Yamuna served Yamraj very nicely, fed him very nice prasad. So Yamraj asked her, what do you want? What blessings do you want? What benediction do you want? So Yamuna said that whoever on this day comes, brother and sister, and comes and bathes in river Yamuna and worships us, they will be liberated, brother and sister. So on after Diwali, the second day, the brother and sister, they go to Yamuna and bathe in the river. Then the sister feeds the brother, and they worship Yamuna and Yamraj. So we have there is a temple at near Keshi Ghat of Yamuna Maharani. So devotees go there. So Yamraj always seeks association of devotees. So now the actual Yamraj, who is he, is coming up. This whole, hellish planets and all, he is given, this service is given by Krishna, and he is perfectly doing it very nicely. But what is in his heart? In his heart, he is a very devotee of Lord Krishna, and he always wants to seek the association of devotees. And what does devotees do? devotees want to sit in the association of devotees and hear Krishna Katha, preach Krishna Katha, dance in Kirtan, take prasad with devotees. So that is what devotees do. And he always longs. This is such a hard service, but still he performs it very nicely. And he, in his heart, he always longs to be with devotees. So we have comes in Mahabharat and even in Bhagavatam that Yamraj was cursed to become a Shudra's son. So what happened is, there is in the Mahabharata the story comes of Manduka Muni, that once Manduka Muni was a rishi, and he used to do tapasya in his house. So once there was a king, and some thieves robbed the king's palace, and then they hid inside Manduka Muni's house. So Manduka Muni was in tapasya, so he didn't know that any thieves had come in his house. So the soldiers came, and then they asked Manduka Muni that has any thieves come in the house. So Manduka Muni didn't know, so he said no, nobody has come, but they came and searched the house. So when they came and searched the house, they went inside, they found all the thieves sitting there. So they all captured them, and they even captured Manduka Muni and took them to the palace, and they were punished. So all the thieves with Manduka Muni were punished. So when Manduka Muni was pierced with a lance, so it didn't, because he was so what is it called, renunciant, that lance wasn't able to pierce him. So then when it is said that some sages also came there, and then they told the king that this sage is very pious and he is a great devotee, so please don't do this. So then the king was very apologetic to Manduka Muni, and he was set free. So then when Manduka Muni was given, he had a chance to visit Yamraj. And then he asked Yamraj that, why was it that I was gone through such a pain? It wasn't my mistake, but still I was put through this pain. So then the Yamraj said that when you were a child, you pierced an ant with a thorn or a grass. So, and you caused pain to that ant. So Manduka Muni said, what age was it? So you were a child. So Manduka Muni said, I was a child. I didn't know what to do then. I didn't have that much intelligence. Then how come I was punished such a severe punishment? So you have there's the picture of Manduka Muni. So you have not given justice properly. So I curse you that you take birth in earthly planet as a Shudra. So, and this is all planned by Lord Krishna. So we shouldn't think that Yamraj is cursed and he is suffering as for the curse. So this is like inner desire. Yamraj had a desire to go to have a nice holiday and preach and associate with devotees. So Krishna is fulfilling this desire. So Yamraj came as a son of Shudra, and he was Vidura. He came as Vidura. Vidura was born from maid servant of Ambika and Vyasdev. So we all know the story from Mahabharata that how Ambika and Ambalika were asked to beget children from Vyasdev, and Vyasdev looked so fierce that both of them had um, Dhritarashtra was blind and Pandu was pale. So Ambika was told to beget another son, but she didn't want it to beget. So she sent her servant, and the servant was so chaste and faithful and respectful to Vyasdev. So Vyasdev gave her the blessing that she will get um a very pious and religious and very intelligent son, and he was Vidura. So he was a son of a Shudrani and Vyasdev. So in one family, so many Mahajans. Vyasdev is a Mahajan, Bhishmadev is a Mahajan, and um, now Vidura as Yamraj. Can you take this off? So, okay. So there is one more story that of Yamraj, which is it is in, I think it's in Mahabharata as well, of about Savitri and Satyavan. So Yamraj came to take Satyavan, and Savitri was a chaste woman, so she could see Yamraj and she stopped Yamraj. So Yamraj said, "No, I can't. It is your husband's time, so I have to take him." But Savitri then uh, started glorifying Yamraj, and then Yamraj became very pleased, and then he gave her asked her that, what do you want? Ask me for a benediction. So Savitri said that, please grant me that I have a son. So Yamraj said, I grant you that boon. But then Savitri said that, how can I get a son if you're taking my husband? I'm a very chaste lady. So then Yamraj said that, and he had to give Satyavan back. So sometimes Yamraj does these, concessions, but it is very, very rare that he does that. He is very strict and he is very intelligent and he performs his services very nicely. Then we come to the story from Srimad Bhagavatam, the story of Vidura taking Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra is, after the battle of Kurukshetra, when before the battle, Duryodhan chastised Vidura, and Vidura left the home for pilgrimage. So when all the pilgrimage, he went to so many places because he had that desire, up till now he didn't have because he was burdened with all the palatial duties. He couldn't associate with devotees. So after the when he Duryodhan chastised and then he left the home Hastinapur, then he had a chance to associate what he had, the deeper inner desire for associating with devotees, going for pilgrimage. And he went for so many different places, holy places. He went for met with so many devotees, sages, and which he longed for. So when he came to Vrindavan, he met with Uddhav, and Uddhav, he wanted to hear from Uddhav that about Krishna's glories. But Uddhav said that all, the battle of Kurukshetra has finished, and everybody has died, and Krishna has also left. So, and I can't give you, because Krishna has given me the instruction to go to Badrikashram and meet with the sages there. But you can meet Maitreya Muni and take knowledge from him. So there is in Bhagavatam there is a discussion between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. And then when Maitreya Muni was giving him Bhagavatam, that time he heard that how devotees are very compassionate. So when he heard about that, he immediately remembered Dhritarashtra, that he loved his brother. So immediately he started to Hastinapur. He wanted to, take Dhritarashtra out of that palace. So he went to Hastinapur, and then he started when he went to Hastinapur. Everybody welcomed him. Everybody was very happy to see Vidura. That after so many years, Vidura had come back. But Vidura had come back with a purpose to take Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was so attached to the kingdom that still, when it is said that Bhima used to be very scared and throw the plate of food. So Vidura was angry that, why are you taking food from your enemy? They have, they are feeding you, they are nice to you, but you shouldn't be taking this. You should be leaving the home and performing your austerities. You should go to Himalayas. So when Vidura told him, Dhritarashtra understood that now is the time to leave home. So in the dead of the night, when nobody was there, very quietly, without telling anyone, Vidura, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari left. So then in the morning when Yudhishthir came, nobody was there. So Yudhishthir became very upset that what must have happened because of me. Dhritarashtra has left. So then we know from Bhagavatam that Narad Muni came, and Narad Muni told that don't go behind them. They have gone to the north, and Dhritarashtra will, he is doing austerities, and within 5 days he will leave his body. So Dhritarashtra couldn't become a devotee, but at least he was on the path. So Vidura had a very major role to take Dhritarashtra out of the house. And then we have, and then after that, after Gandhari and Dhritarashtra left, then Vidura went to Prabhas, where Krishna and Balram had did his last pastimes. And then from there, Vidura also left, and all the denizens of Pitruloka welcomed him back to his services. So Vidura, as a Yamraj, he came for few years to take a holiday. He associated with devotees. He preached to Dhritarashtra, and he heard, he associated with Krishna. And at the, it is said that at the, when before Krishna, Uddhav said that, Krishna remembered Vidura. So Vidura was very happy that at the end he was the person which Krishna remembered. So we can see through this that, how Krishna loves his devotees so much. So, and how can we forget the main, story of Ajamil? The Bhagavatam describes the story of Ajamil. So Ajamil was a Brahmana boy, but he fell victim to lust and he associated with a Shudrani. And he left all his Brahminical qualities and he became a rogue. So after during his end of life, he had so many children with the Shudrani, and the last son was named Narayan. So when he was dying, he saw Yamdutas. So and he started calling, Narayan, Narayan, please help me, please help me. And we can see here how Yamdutas are pulling, and the Vishnu Dutas came. Vishnu Duta said, "Stop! This is now he has said the holy name Narayan, so we can't let you have Ajamil." So there is a conversation between Yamdutas and Vishnu Dutas, and Ajamil was given a grace period. So for 10 years, then he came to his senses that, I have done, I've wasted my whole life. I was such a Brahmana, I had so much knowledge, and all was thrown out. So then he went to Haridwar and he started performing his devotional service and he perfected his life. So then Yamdutas went to Lord Yamraj, and they asked him that how come Yamdutas, how come there is someone superior to you? We only know that you are the supreme. So Yamraj is instructing that, and we can read some points and how he's glorifying and the holy name, and how that Narayan, Lord Vishnu Dutas and Yam Dutas, how they were discussing, and we can read a few things. And now Yamraj is instructing his messengers. So do you want to put that on?
Starting.
So this is from Canto 6, Chapter 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yamraj instructs his messengers. Number 1. So we can take turns, if people can read 5 shlokas each, then we can read.
Okay, Mataji, I'll ask here.
Okay.
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you would like to read, you can unmute yourself and read the first 5 verses. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
5
Yes.
verses. I hope you're still there. You just not joined and doing something else. I still 100% I believe that you're actually hearing. Oh, thank you, Sumit, for volunteering. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. King Parikshit said, O my lord, O Shukadev Goswami, Yamaraj is the controller of all living entities in terms of their religious and irreligious activities, but his order has been foiled. When his servants, the Yamadutas, informed him of their defeat by the Vishnudutas, who had stopped them from arresting Ajamila, what did he reply? O great sage, never before has it been heard anywhere that an order of Yamaraj has been baffled. Therefore, I think that people will have doubts about this, that no one but you can eradicate. Since that is my firm conviction, kindly explain the reasons for these events. Sri Shukadev Goswami replied, My dear king, When the order carriers of Yamraj were baffled and defeated by the order carriers of Vishnu, they approached their master, the controller of Samyamanipuri, and the master of sinful persons to tell him of this incident. Yamaduta said, "Our dear Lord, how many controllers or rulers are there in this material world? How many causes are responsible for manifesting the various results of activities performed under the three modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna? If in this universe there are many rulers and justices who disagree about punishment and reward, their contradictory actions will neutralize each other, and no one will be punished or rewarded. Otherwise, if their contradictory acts fail to neutralize each other, everyone will have to be both punished and rewarded."
Thank you, Sumit.
So shall we ask someone else, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Another 5 verses?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, we have a couple of people. So Madhavi Mataji, is that Swami
Hare
Prasad?
Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Hare Krishna.
okay, next 5 verses, please.
Yeah. The Yamadutas continued, since there are many different karmis or workers, there may be different rulers to give them justice, but just as one central emperor controls different departmental rulers, there was supreme controller to guide all the judges. The supreme judge must be one, not many. It was our understanding that you are that supreme judge. You have jurisdiction even over the demigods. Our information was that you are the master of all living, supreme authority who discriminates between the pious and impious activities of all human beings. But now we see that the punishment ordained under your authority is no longer activity, since you have been transgressed by four wonderful and perfect persons. We were bringing the most sinful Ajamila toward the hellish planets, following your order when the persons from Siddhaloka forcibly cut the knots of the ropes with which we were arresting him. As soon as, as soon as the sinful Ajamila
Third, the name.
Simple Ajamila uttered the name Narayana. For these four beautiful men immediately arrived and reassured him, saying, do not fear. We wish to know about them from your lordship. If you think we are able to understand them, kindly describe who they are.
Thank you,
Please.
Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Shall we move on, Mataji? You want
Yes,
to?
Prabhuji, yes.
Okay, Ram Nityananda Prabhu, you recently unmuted your mic. If you would like to do that again from another 5 verses, please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, it's me, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Prem Datri, nice to hear.
Shri Shukdev Goswami said, thus having been questioned, Lord Yamraj, the supreme controller of the living entities, was very pleased with his order carriers because of hearing from them the holy name of Narayana. He remembered the lotus feet of the Lord and began to reply. Yamraj said, my dear servants, you have accepted me as the supreme, but factually I am not. Above me and above all the other demigods, including Indra and Chandra, is the one supreme master and controller. The partial manifestations of his personality are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who are in charge of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this universe. He is like the two threads that from the length and the breadth of a woven cloth. The entire world is controlled by him, just as a bull is controlled by a rope in its nose. Just as the driver of a bullock cart ties ropes through the nostrils of his bulls to control them, the Supreme Personality of Godhead binds all men through the ropes of his words in the Vedas, which set forth the names and activities of distinct order of human society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. In fear, the members of these orders all worship the Supreme Lord by offering him presentations according to their respective activities. Yamraj, Indra, the king of heaven, Nriti, Varuna, Chandra, the moon god, Agni, Lord Shiva, Pavana, Lord Brahma, Surya, the sun god, Vishvasu, the 8 Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Marutas, the Rudras, the Siddhas, and Marichi and the other great rishis engage in maintaining the departmental affair of the universe, as well as the best of the demigods headed by Brahaspati and the great sages headed by Bhrigu are all certainly free from the influence of the two base material modes of nature, namely passion and ignorance. Nevertheless, although we are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paragraph. Yeah. What then is to be said of others who, under illusion, merely speculate to know God?
Next 6.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Shall we move on?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, another volunteer, please. Next 5 verses. Bhuvneshwari Mataji, are you there? No.
Okay, Prabhuji, I will read.
Hare Krishna, I am here. Sorry.
Yeah, carry on. Bhuvneshwar Mataji, please. Yeah.
From 16, yeah?
16, yes, please.
Yeah. As the different limbs of the body cannot see the eyes, the living entities cannot see the Supreme Lord, who is situated as the Super Soul in everyone's heart. Not by the senses, by the mind, by the life air, by thoughts within the heart, or by the vibration of words can the living entities ascertain the real situation of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient and fully independent. He is the master of everyone and everything, including the illusory energy. He has his form, qualities, and features. And similarly, his order carriers, the Vaishnavas, who are very beautiful, possess bodily features, transcendental qualities, and a transcendental nature, almost like his. They always wander within this world with full independence. The order carriers of Lord Vishnu, who are worshipped even by the demigods, possess wonderful bodily features exactly like those of Vishnu and are very rarely seen. The Vishnu Dutas protect the devotees of the Lord from the hands of enemies, from envious persons, and even from my jurisdiction, as well as from natural disturbances. Real religious principles are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although fully situated in the mode of goodness, even the great rishis who occupy the topmost planets cannot ascertain the real religious principle, nor can the demigods or the leaders of Siddhalok, to say nothing of the asuras, ordinary human beings, Vidyadhars and Charanas. Prabhuji, can you move it up a bit? Thank you. Lord Brahma, Bhagwan, Narad, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devhuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Sukdev Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home, back to Godhead. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
So next volunteer, please. Radha Vinod Prabhu.
Now Yamraj is describing what is the importance of the holy name and how we can execute it, and how devotional service is very important.
Thank you.
So please hear it carefully.
Devotional service beginning with the chanting of holy name of the Lord is the ultimate religious principle for the living entity in human society. My dear servants, who are as good as my sons, just see how glorious is the chanting of holy name of the Lord. The greatly sinful Ajamila chanted only to call his son, not knowing that he was chanting the Lord's holy name. Nevertheless, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he remembered Narayana, and thus he was immediately saved from the ropes of death. Therefore, it should be understood that one is easily relieved from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of the Lord and chanting of his qualities and activities. This is the only process recommended for relief from sinful reactions. Even if one chants the holy name of the Lord with improper pronunciation, he will achieve relief from material bondage if he chants without offenses. Ajamila, for example, was extremely sinful, but while dying, he merely chanted the holy name, and although calling his son, he achieved complete liberation because he remembered the name of Narayan. Because they are bewildered by illusory energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yagnavalkya, and Jaimini, the other compilers of the religious scriptures, cannot know the secret, confidential religious system of the 12 Mahajans. They cannot understand the transcendental value of performing devotional service or chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra because their minds are attracted to the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in Vedas, especially the Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Rigveda. Their intelligence has become dull. Thus, they are busy collecting the ingredients for ritualistic ceremonies that yield only temporary benefits, such as elevation to Swargaloka for material happiness. They are not attracted to Sankirtana movement. Instead, they are interested in the Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Next 5.
So who would like to read Haribol? Sumadhura Radhika Mataji.
Yes, text 26. Considering all these points, therefore, intelligent men decide to solve all problems by adopting the devotional service of chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart and who is a mine of all auspicious qualities. Such persons are not within my jurisdiction for punishment. Generally, they never commit sinful activities, but even by mistake or because of bewilderment or illusion, they sometimes commit sinful acts. They are protected from sinful reactions because they always chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Text 27. My dear servants, please do not approach such devotees, for they have fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are equal to everyone, and their narrations are sung by the demigods and the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Please do not even go near them. They are always protected by the club of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore Lord Brahma and I, even at the time factor, are not competent to chastise them. Text 28. Paramhansas are exalted persons who have no taste for material enjoyment and who drink the honey of the Lord's lotus feet. My dear servants, bring to me for punishment only persons who are averse to the taste of that honey, who do not associate with Paramhansas, and who are attached to family life and worldly enjoyment, which form the path to hell. Text 29. My dear servants, please bring to me only those sinful persons who do not use their tongues to chant the holy name and qualities of Krishna, whose hearts do not remember the lotus feet of Krishna even once, and whose heads do not bow down even once before Lord Krishna. Send me those who do not perform their duties toward Vishnu, which are the only duties in human life. Please bring me all such fools and rascals. Hare Krishna.
Next volunteer, please. Who would like to read? Ambada Prabhu.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Then Maharaj considered himself and his servant to be offenders, spoke as follows, begging pardon from the Lord. O my Lord, my servants have surely committed a great offense by arresting a Vaishnava such as Ajamil. O Narayana, O Supreme, O and oldest person, please forgive us, because in our ignorance we failed to recognize Ajamila as a servant of your Lordship, and thus we have certainly committed a great offense. Therefore, with folded hands, we beg your pardon. My Lord, since you are supreme, merciful, and always full of good qualities, please pardon us. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Sukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is able to uproot even the reactions of the greatest sins. Therefore, the chanting of the Sankirtana movement is the most auspicious activity in the entire universe. Please try to understand this so that others will take it seriously. One who constantly hears and chants the holy name of the Lord and hears and chants about his activities can very easily attain the platform of pure devotional service, which can cleanse the dirt from one's heart. One cannot achieve such purification merely by observing vows and performing Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Devotees who always lick the honey from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna do not care at all for material activities, which are performed under the three modes of material nature and which brings only misery. Indeed, devotees never give up the lotus feet of Krishna to return to material activities. Others, however, who are addicted to Vedic rituals because they have neglected the service of the Lord's lotus feet and are enchanted by lusty desires, sometimes perform acts of atonement. Nevertheless, being incompletely purified, they return to sinful activities again and again.
Maybe you can finish.
After hearing from the mouth of their master about extraordinary glories of the Lord and his name, fame, and attributes, the Yamadutas were struck with wonder. Since then, as soon as they see a devotee, they fear him and dare not look at him again. When the great sage Agastya, the son of Kumbha, was residing in the Malaya hills and worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I approached him and he explained to me his confidential history.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we have heard from Yamraj's own, mouth what he wants us to do. He wants us to chant Lord's holy name, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, associate with devotees, and perfect our life. Similar to when Vidura was enjoying in Vrindavan, associating with devotees and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, he had no reason to go back to Hastinapur. But he immediately remembered, how can I help my brother? Similarly, Prabhupada was living in Vrindavan, very peacefully doing his bhajan, his sadhana, his Bhagavatam. But he went to America at the age of 70 for us suffering souls, so that we can purify and purify our life and go back to Godhead. So devotees are so merciful that even if they are very comfortably doing their sadhana and bhajan, they want to preach and elevate other people to come back to Krishna. So Prabhupada has done a tremendous effort to go to West and help us, given his books, chanting of the holy name, Prasadam. So we should all we should all be very grateful to Prabhupada and follow his instructions and try to follow in his footsteps and perfect our life. So thank you very much. I can stop here.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Mataji. Anybody has any comments or any questions? We have few minutes. We have still a little bit of time before I make some announcements. If you have any comments or questions, please do so. I will also have a look at on YouTube just to see if anybody has to say anything.
Thank you, Mataji, for such a beautiful class. Though I joined midway, but it was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sumadura Radhika Mataji, thanks very much for a very enlightening class. I learned a lot today. Thank you. Is there a day that is there a day you don't put a comment? Sumadara Radhika Mataji, always appreciate others. Wonderful. Of course, some devotees have internally, some devotees express, but nice to see Sumadara Radhika Mataji. Always you appreciate, you express that. Anybody wants to say anything before I make a couple of announcements? Bhuneshwari Mataji. Yes, excellent class. Let me go back to the YouTube. Yes, here Katie Mataji says, thank you, Prerani Mataji, truly lovely class. Shashi Mataji says, yeah, amazing class, so good. Thank you, everyone. Right. Okay, so firstly, I would like to thank Prerani Mataji for taking up this service. When I asked Mataji, it took a couple of days to get back to me. So I thought she was thinking about this, but nice that you have taken up this service. It's a different service. We all have, different things that it is also kind of service. And also all the devotees for joining on YouTube as well as on Zoom. We took this, ISKCON Manchester took this initiative in the beginning of this year in January with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We took this initiative of studying and understanding these 12 great devotees of the Lord, 12 Mahajans. So each month we discussed one Mahajan, and I intentionally chose Yamraj for December because everybody is thinking of some goals and other things for next year, New Year resolutions and things like that. So yeah, whatever we do, if it is not devotional, Yamraj will put to end for those things. So we are very grateful to Prabhupada for kindly giving this wonderful engagement. I mentioned time and time again that people are suffering for not having right engagement. They don't have goals, they don't have purpose in life. We see so many patients coming. We discuss on a daily basis that they don't have a real purpose and aim in life. And for us, we are very, very fortunate. We have a purpose, we have an aim, we have a goal, we have a nice engagement. So we are eternally grateful to Prabhupada for giving this wonderful opportunity, for giving the Srimad Bhagavatam. He had put so much effort to put it together. Just write a couple of pages and see how long does it take. So I did a PhD, and then just write to few pages. I suffer like anything. It's not that easy. Prabhupada wrote so many pages, so much purport from the previous acharyas. He gave us so much knowledge. So let us take this opportunity to associate with others, and especially here in the association. That is the real key. Also, I request if there is an opportunity, then you all can open the camera going forward, because we are not meeting personally. At least we can see each other and at least feel the presence there. If you have time, if you can do that, please do so. That is one request from my side. I wanted to do that. And going forward next year, again, we will try and choose another 12 topics and dedicate first Saturday of each month for glorifying and understanding about devotees and the Lord from Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you for that. And tomorrow, Sunday, we have a Sunday feast lecture. There is no feast, of course, by his Grace Ranglal Prabhu. And this month is a special month for us. Gita Jayanti, appearance of Gita, will be taking place. It is falling on Christmas Day. That is the day that Lord Krishna spoke Gita to Arjun. It is Mokshada Ekadasi. So the plan is we are thinking of Gita recitation on the day itself, Christmas Day. And following Sunday, we are planning to do entire recitation of English recitation, translation, only translation that we are planning to do. But again, we will just finalize those details and send them out in due course. Yeah, so thank you very much for coming and giving your association. Very nice to see you all. I know these are difficult times. But what can we do? This is the best way to associate. And also one thing is that at least if you are coming, give that time. You know, at least if I'm attending this class, give that 1 hour, solid 1 hour, fully focusing and taking some important messages from Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's it from my side. Thank you, everyone. If anybody has anything, please do so. Radhamohan Prabhu, have you got anything to say?
My thanks to you, Gonatrash Prabhu. My credit to you, Gonatrash Prabhu, that you so wonderfully conducted these classes. Last 12 months. I still remember the beginning of the year. We started with Lord Brahma's class. First Mahajan, and now we are at the end of this year. At the beginning, I thought 12 Mahajans, 12 long months is a long time. But this time just flew, very quickly, and thanks to COVID-19, because of COVID-19, 20 is gone very fast. I hope COVID-20 doesn't come next year. So my gratitude to you, Gonatraj Prabhu, and all the devotees, worked on the background very hard for, these wonderful programs that is done by the ISKCON Manchester. And I wish and pray to Prabhupada that may we have a very wonderful 21 ahead of us. And whether COVID-19 or COVID-20 or whatever, whether we are in temple or whether we are in online on the Zoom, let's come together very nicely and encourage each other and make our life very, very successful. As Yamraj mentioned in these shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, that devotees come together and chant the glories of Krishna, and that is the success of our life. And if we do that, we never have to see the ugly side of Yamraj's city. We never have to see that again. So, and again, my gratitude to you, Gorantaj Prabhu, for leading us into this wonderful journey along with all the devotees. Thank you so much, Gorantaj.
It is a team effort for everything, but we are all grateful to Prabhupada. So thank you for those kind words, which I do not deserve at all. But this is my service. I'm doing my service. We are all grateful to Prabhupada for giving this nice engagement. I've thoroughly enjoyed 12 Mahajan series. I've attended each and every class of these 12 classes, and I thoroughly enjoyed. And so we are planning for next 12 classes. We will again take 12 main topics or another devotees or Lord, and we will discuss next year as well. So once again, thank you very much. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see Damodar Vilas Pramo all the way from India, giving your
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Damodar Vilas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Nice to see you all. Very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare